So here in the high pass filter, it is going to pass the higher frequency ranges, and it is going to attenuate the lower frequency ranges. That is, low frequencies will be attenuated and high frequencies will be passed through it. So it is exactly opposite to that of the low pass filter. So this, since it's exactly opposite, this is obtained by just interchanging the position of the capacitor and the resistor. In the low pass filter, where you had resistor, put capacitor there, and where you had capacitor, put a resistor there. Just interchange the resistor and capacitor. We will be getting high pass Butterworth filter. So in the high pass Butterworth filter, as it is also a combination of the passive as well as active filter. So passive filter, because it is going to use a resistor and capacitor. Active filter, because it is going to use the op amp, which is going to amplify. So first we'll write the active filter part, which is going to use the op amp. Because of this only, it is been called as active filter. So first, a non-inverting op amp is being written. R1, RF, resistor, and a capacitor. You can just observe here in the low pass filter, we had a resistor here, capacitor here, but now it is just the reverse of it. And this is the output which we are having. So this is known as first order high pass Butterworth filter. So this is known as first order high pass Butterworth filter. Here it is going to allow the high frequencies. Is going to allow the high frequencies. So this is the portion of the passive filter which is made up of passive elements like capacitor and resistor, and when these passive components are added to an active component like op amp, this is going to form an active filter. So even this is also having the mathematical analysis. Before that, since you know that the capacitor is going to allow the higher frequencies, because the reactance of the capacitor for the higher frequencies will be lesser. So higher frequencies will be passed through this directly, and the lower frequencies will be held up, and some of the lower frequencies will also flow through this resistor, and they are going to reach the ground, so that higher frequencies are going to reach the op amp, and the rest of the process is taken as by the non-inverting op amp. So it is going to add some gain to that filtered signal and give that output. So now, by applying the voltage divider rule, so we need to, as it is a simple method, is this portion is this part of the portion of the circuit is active filter. I mean, sorry, the non-inverting op amp. So this non-inverting op amp, we already know that it can work by just taking the input, and we know the formula V naught is equal to V in into gain. So this can add some gain only when it knows the effective input, because here we are having two branches, and we are going to apply the KCL to this node, which is usually called as virtual ground, and we know that the voltage across this node will be equal to the voltage across this node. Whatever the voltage which is appearing here, the same voltage will appear here. Based on that only, we are going to apply the KCL to this portion, and finally we are deriving it. Now, in order to know what is the voltage across this, we need to know what is the voltage across this point, this node. Here, since we are having resistor and capacitor, so two branches are there, we cannot tell directly that whatever V in we are having, the same V in is going to appear here, because there will be some drop across the capacitor as well as at the resistor. So that's why we need to find the voltage. Let us call this node as A and this node as B. So now on applying KVL here, also as usually the potential difference across this means we take the difference between this point and this point. But when you take the potential difference across this, let us take this as R. You know that VA minus 0, that is equal to VA. So what if you want to find out the voltage across this node, then find the voltage across a resistor, that gives you the voltage which is appearing across this node. So based on this concept, we'll apply voltage divider rule and we write the equation. VA is equal to V in into R by R minus J X C. So this is main voltage into resistance where you are finding divided by total sum of the resistance. So this is the resistance of the resistor and this is the reactance of the capacitor, which we represent it as minus JXC. Now after this, let us take in the next step, we'll take the JXC common, R divided by minus JXC common, you get R divided by minus JXC plus 1, and minus JXC, it can be written as minus J into 1 divided by 2 pi FC, as X is equal to 1 by omega C. So if you replace, so if it is minus 1 by J, then you can write it as J. So based on that, 1 divided by minus JXC is equal to J divided by XC if you are going to shift it upwards according to this. So that is J divided by 1 divided by 2 pi FC, that is equal to 2 pi FC into J. Now whatever we have obtained here, that we are going to substitute back. When you are substituting it back to the last equation, whatever we have obtained, we get VA is equal to V in into minus R divided by JXC divided by R divided by minus JXC plus 1. So on further simplification, we get V in into J 2 pi F RC divided by 1 plus J into 2 pi F RC. So again, if you are going to represent it in terms of the lower cutoff frequencies, because lower cutoff frequency is given by 1 divided by 2 pi RC. So when you are going to consider the lower cutoff frequency in this above equation, then VA is equal to V in. We are just replacing 1 by 2 pi RC by FL. If 1 divided by 2 pi RC is equal to FL, so obviously 2 pi RC is equal to 1 by FL. So in that way, we write J into F divided by FL divided by 1 plus J into F divided by FL. So now, after this, now we have obtained what is VA according to the virtual ground concept and applying the voltage equation of the non-inverting op amp. V naught is equal to AF into VA, or if you want to take VA is equal to VB, you can take in that way also. And AF is nothing but, since it is non-inverting op amp, it is 1 plus RF by R1 into VA. So V naught is equal to AF. So we'll substitute whatever we have obtained here. This we are going to substitute. AF into V in into J into F by FL divided by 1 plus J into F divided by FL. So V naught by V in is equal to AF into J into F by FL divided by 1 plus J into F by FL. So again, when you take the magnitude of the above equation, so as you know that when you take the magnitude of the imaginary, then V naught by V in will be equal to AF into F by FL divided by root of 1 plus F by FL whole square. So this is the equation which we are having for the first order high pass Butterworth filter. Now again, if suppose there are different equations, different cases. So we'll take those different cases. The first case, at lower frequencies, when F is lesser than the cutoff frequencies, then obviously the gain will also be the actual gain will also be lesser than AF. May I know what is the difference between V naught by V in and AF? What is the difference between V naught by V in and AF?
So V naught by V in will be open loop gain. AF will be feedback.
Yes. So V naught by V in, that is the gain which we are going to obtain from the V naught by obtain the gain, overall gain. So considering that overall gain only, we are going to plot the frequency response. But when you consider AF, it is the gain which is obtained or which is considered because of the feedback circuit 1 plus RF by R1. So when uh, the given when the input frequency is less than the cutoff frequency, then the gain of this circuit will be lesser than the actual required gain. Then if you are going to take F is equal to FL, this is the input frequency and this is the cutoff frequency, then V naught by V in will be equal to 1 by root 2 times AF. So this is the 3 dB gain, whatever we tell now. This is the 3 dB gain. Then third one, if F is higher compared to FL, then V naught will be V naught by V in, that is gain will be equal to the maximum and it will be constant. So let us plot this and try to analyze these cases. So in the frequency response, as you know, it is the gain versus frequency. It's a graph which is going to be plotted, gain versus the frequency. So for higher cutoff frequency, we'll get the curve like this. So this indicates for higher frequencies, the circuit which is rigged up is going to act as pass band, and for the lower frequencies, that is FL, it is going to act as the stop band. So when you attenuate the signal, automatically that part of the signal will not be getting transmitted to the destination. That is the logic which is used here. So this is the pass band. And coming to the first case, when F is less than FL. So F is less than, this is F, no? This is the lower cutoff frequency. When this frequency, which is given by the input, is lesser than the lower cutoff frequency, then what happens? The gain will be less. This is gain is V naught by V in. V naught by V in. So this will be lesser. You can observe that the gain is lesser when the frequency is less than FL. Next, when F is equal to FL, at this point, so this is the point where we take 3 decibel or 1 by root 2 times the overall gain. So at F is equal to FL, the gain will be 1 by root 2 times of the maximum gain. So this is the maximum required or allowed gain. So during that time, when F is equal to FL, the gain which is obtained is 1 by root 2 times AF. Then we'll take F is greater than FL. That is for this frequencies. Whatever the frequencies which we get after FL, those frequencies, in those frequencies, V naught by V in will be equal to AF. So you can see that entire, it will be maximum. The gain will be maximum and it will be constant. So this is how the high pass, first order high pass filter is going to work. And also here, the gain is going to increase from, see there we were talking about the decrease in the gain, decrease in the lower, in the lower, in the low pass filter, we were talking about roll-off factor, which is decreasing by 20 dB per decade. But here we should talk about increasing. We tell the gain increases at a rate of 20 dB per decade. The gain increases by 20 dB per decade. See, this is the important uh, thing which you need to mention while discussing low pass and high pass. There, 20 dB per decade was the rate at which the gain was decreasing. The gain was decreasing. Here, 20 dB per decade is the rate at which the gain is increasing. Okay, remember this. After this, as usual, design. So design procedure. So in the first step, we need to know what is FL. Then step 2, we need to choose the capacitor, which is in the range from 0.01 microfarad to 1 microfarad. Next, in step 3, we should find the resistance R. For that, we can use FL is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi RC. And step 4, we need to find out R1 and RF, because whenever it is asked as design, we need to find all the resistor. So that's why we can use AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1. So these are the steps which we are going to follow to find out the different resistance values. So obviously high pass filters are used in audio amplifiers, used in speakers or equalizers to reduce the low frequency noise. Next is second order high pass filter. In a second order high pass filter, as the name itself it tells that it is an order of 2. The filter is of order 2. So based on that, here instead of having one RC pair, we'll be having two RC pair. So first we'll write the non-inverting op amp. So this is the basic thing which we already know. So first let us write that. The two capacitors. So we are giving input here C2, C3, R1, RF, so you can take it as C2, C3, or you can take it as C1, C2, anything. Why we take it as C2, C3? Because these are marked as R2, R3. No? To avoid that confusion, we mark it as C2, C3. If you want, you can mark it as C1, C2 only. Should not think why he has written directly C2 instead of writing C1. Without writing C1, he has written C2, C3. See, since those resistors which are the pair of resistors which we are having, those are marked as R2, R3 because the input resistance of the inverting terminal is considered to be R1. So obviously this will be R2 and R3. So C2 and C3 will be considered as the capacitors. Now, so frequency gain of the second order high pass filter, it is almost identical to the first order filter. The only change is, as I told, the stop band gain rolls off at the rate of 40 dB per decade. So there it was rolling off for uh, the stop band gain, that is at the lower frequencies, the gain was increasing by 20 dB per decade, but here it increases by 40 dB per decade. That is the change which we are having. The voltage gain equation is given by V naught by V in is equal to AF divided by root of 1 plus FL by F whole square. Oh, sorry, to the power of 4. So always for the second order it will be to the power of 4. Even if you have observed in the low pass filter, second order low pass filter, there also we were taking FL by F to the power of 4. But when you consider those two kind of equations, there is one thing which is different in the equation. Similar kind of equation we have obtained for second order low pass filter also, but there is one thing which is slightly different. As soon as you look, oh, it is same equation, you will feel, but there is some small change. What is that small change? Anybody has
There
observed?
we sir, there we have higher cutoff frequency and here we have the lower cutoff frequency, sir.
Yeah, that is obviously. And other than that, in the formula,
F by FH, sir, and FL
hmm,
by
hmm, there it is F by FH. Here it is FL by F. Many times I've seen the students will do mistake here because since they think that both the formulas are same and only FL and FH are different. Along with that, there it is F by FH, here it is FL by F. Please remember this. Again, the passband gain is taken to be 1.586 and FL lower cutoff frequency is 1 divided by 2 pi root of R2, R3, C2, C3. Again, if R2, R3 are same and C2, C3 are same, then the above equation becomes 1 divided by 2 pi RC, because this becomes R square C square. So R square C square and you take root of that, it becomes 1 divided by 2 pi RC. Now again, the next step, AF is equal to 1 plus RF by R1, which is equal to 1.586. So RF by R1 is equal to 0.586. This is equal to RF is equal to 0.586 into R1. And this is our FL, or you can take it as simply FC. And I have one more question. See, we are talking about high pass filter, but we are talking here, we are mentioning FL. There in low pass filter, if you remember, which we have done in the last class, we are talking about low pass filter, but equation we are writing it as FH. May I know why it is like that? It's a very common sense question. Just let me know how much you have understood.
So, so it's because the low pass filter allows the high frequency to pass through, so that's why you use FH.
Low pass filter will allow
The high frequency to pass through, so that's why we use FH.
low pass. Say, just think what you are telling. Low pass filter will allow high frequency. I think you are knowing it, but you are not putting it in a proper way.
Sir, is it because in high pass filter,
Hmm.
all the frequencies above the FL will be passed, but in low pass filter, it's the other way around. All the frequencies below FH will be passed.
Yes, very good. It's like that. So here, all the frequencies above FL will be passed. There, all the frequencies below FH will be passed. That's why in high pass filter, we derive the equation for lower cutoff frequency, and in low pass filter, we derive the equation for higher cutoff frequency. Don't get confused. I'm telling repeatedly, many will do mistake even in the exam. They'll feel that, oh, this is high pass filter. No, I've seen in evaluating in V2 scripts also. They have written FL correctly. Then finally they'll add like this FH, thinking that, oh, this is high pass, this should be FH. See, if you don't know the concept, this will happen. Okay, so never by heart, try to understand the things, then you'll have that clarity. So we should be FL only. It is not a mistake, it is the fact. So after this, as usual, the design. Step 1, choose the value of C. So we need to choose the value of C. Again, its range is 0.001 or 0.01 microfarad. So you can choose 0.01 microfarad for this. Then step 2, as usual, we need to find out the lower cutoff frequency here. FL is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi into root R2, R3, C2, C3. If they have given lower cutoff frequency, then we need to find out resistance. If they have resistance, given resistance value, then you need to find FL. So it's the same way. R2 is equal to R3, that is equal to R. C2 is equal to C3 is equal to C. So FL is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi RC. And also from step 3, the gain is as usual 1.586. So this implies RF is equal to 0.586 into R1. So finally, if they're asking you to find the gain, voltage gain, then put V0 by V in is equal to AF by root of 1 plus FL by F. And I have one more question here. What is the difference between V0 by VF and VF? See, both are gains only. Fine. And as told, as I asked at the beginning, it was told this is the gain which is obtained by feedback. Then what about this gain? Both are gains, right? But this is for what and this is for what? Or we can, in other way, from where you get this and from where you get this. From where you will get V0 by V and from where you will get EF. Obviously from the circuit only we are getting, but from considering which part of the circuit you will get V0 by V and which part, on considering which part you will get EF. Any idea? See, this is the gain, V0 by V in is the overall gain which is achieved considering output voltage and the input voltage. This is the gain which is given by the op amp This is the so the gain which is just given by the non-inverting op amp. Okay, so and obviously this is going to decide which what should be the gain of this entire circuit. But V naught by V in will give you the overall gain achieved. AF is the actual gain which is been designed, or actual the gain for which the circuit is being designed, and this R1 plus RF by R1 is going to tell about the gain. Okay, so by properly tuning the frequencies, we can achieve that the overall gain to the actual expected gain. That is what happening when the frequency of the signal is equal to the higher cutoff, higher the higher frequencies. When FP is equal to FH, we will tell V naught by V in is equal to AF. So when you are properly tuning the frequencies, during that time, we will be able to achieve the gain which was expected or which was required, because of which we have used RF and R1. Okay, remember this is the gain which is given by the overall circuit. This is the gain which is given by the feedback circuit, and this is the gain which is being expected, or because of which the feedback network is designed. Okay, this is about the second order high pass filters. After this, the next part is active band pass filters. Active band pass filter. So in the in the band pass filter, so in the low pass filter, high pass filter, we were discussing about how to allow lower frequency, how to allow higher frequencies. But here in active band pass filter, it is going to allow both higher frequencies as well as the lower frequencies. That is, it is going to allow the set of frequencies for which the circuit is designed. Suppose you don't want to allow lower cutoff frequency, signal in lower cutoff frequency, and suppose you want to allow the signal, you don't want to allow the signal after upper cutoff frequency, then you can use band pass filter. So the frequency response will be just like this. Here you can observe somewhere here we'll have FL and somewhere we are having FH. See, the signals before FL, lower cutoff frequency, is attenuated, and the signals which is after higher cutoff frequency, that is also attenuated. So if you want to get both the if you want to get the midband region frequency, then you need to use the combination of low pass filter and high pass filter. So what this low pass filter is going to do? It is going to pass only the lower frequency and attenuate higher frequencies. What this high pass filter is going to do? It is going to just allow the higher frequencies and attenuate the lower frequencies. When these two combinations are given together or cascaded together, during that time, the unwanted lower frequency and unwanted upper frequencies will be removed, and the midband frequency will be allowed. Why so much importance is given to midband frequency? So this is the midband frequency region, or as you know, this is lower cutoff region, this is higher cutoff region, and this is midband region. So may I know why we are going to give more importance for the midband region? Why we give more importance to that? Hmm? Anybody?
I'm not sure, but a device may be having some operating frequency within which only it will work properly. If given more, the device can be damaged, or like for less frequency, it may not work properly. So we might need a set of range of frequencies. So
Hmm.
we can ensure it by doing combination of both sides, LPS and XPS.
Okay. Anybody else?
So is it because the gain is constant?
Yes. This is because we prefer the frequency range of between FL and FH because the gain is maximum. Rather than telling constant, it is maximum. Compared to any region, the gain is maximum in the midband region. So that's why we prefer to send the signal in this region. That is where the bandwidth comes into picture. What is bandwidth? FH minus FL. That gives you bandwidth. We will be transmitting the signal in these frequencies. Then we'll be getting good quality of signal. That's why we prefer to send the signal between these regions. So bandwidth, it is the range of frequencies over which the gain will be maximum. When gain is maximum, automatically the quality of the signal will be good and it is going to reach the destination without any attenuation. Okay, even the bandwidth formula is also given by this only. So this is the main importance of active bandpass filters, where we are going to combine both. So the block diagram will look like this: high pass filter, amplification, low pass filter, P in, and this V out. So it is known as the active band pass filter, and this active band pass filter, this also are of different types, namely wide band and the narrow band. Wide band and narrow band. So in wide band, the midband region will be wide, but in the narrow band, the midband region will be narrow. That is the difference. So first we are going to take, whenever we want to design, or whenever we want to rig up a band pass filter, active band pass filter, first we'll connect high pass filter, then it is going to add some amplification since because of op amp, then it is going to give that output for the low pass filter, and finally the output is obtained. This is going to remove lower frequencies, this is going to remove higher frequencies, so remaining thing is midband frequency which we are going to obtain. So this is the technique which has been used. Okay, as these are the two types of filters we are having, and the band pass filter is mainly characterized by the quality factor, Q, and it is obviously based on this value, and this quality factor is said to be the figure of merit. Based upon the quality factor value, Q value, we are going to tell the efficiency of that particular filter. So in other way, we'll tell it is going to tell the figure of merit. It is referred as figure of merit. Okay. The next, we are having a wide band pass filter and narrow band pass filter, and after that we are going to study about the band stop filter. So that will end up the chapter. So we'll take up that in the next class. Okay. So afternoon class is important. All of you should attend without fail.